Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I thought I would do something a little different, and I'm actually going to start a new series. And that series is going to be about the tank. Now that over half the season is done, and probably most Montreal Canadian fans are on the tank bandwagon, I think it's fair enough to say I should give you guys some tank updates just in case you don't follow the rest of the league. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you information about the teams below the Habs, some teams slightly ahead of the Habs, how their weeks went. Did they win more? Did they lose more? Did we move in the standings? Did they move in the standings? All of that good stuff. And then I'm going to finish the video probably by telling you guys our current odds for Bedard. And hopefully as the weeks go on, our odds increase more and more. Anyways, guys, let's get into the video. So we're going to start this off pretty strong with the Florida Panthers because if you don't know already, we hold their first round pick unprotected. So it's really important where they end up falling. And this week was a bit better. Last week wasn't too great. But here they had 2 losses, 1 overtime loss, and a win. With that week done, they're currently sitting 21st in the league, but they have a couple games in hand over Philly, Detroit, and Ottawa, so they could easily drop another couple spots, just like that. They did actually beat Boston, which was super annoying because Boston was winning, and with 2 seconds left, they tied the game. They went in overtime, which already pissed me off because they got an overtime point. And of course they won, which gave them another point, which is just so annoying. They came out of the week kind of 50-50, but it could have been a lot worse for the Panthers and a lot better for us. Now, speaking of teams that are above us still, we have the Ottawa Senators, who actually did quite well. They played 3 games and got 3 out of 3 wins this week, which is great, especially because they beat us. It's good because we were kind of closing the gap on them. So their win over us was very good in making that gap larger. The Ottawa Senators are actually one of the teams that I think might be able to pass Florida. And the more teams that pass Florida, the better. Just like the more teams that pass us, the better. So keep an eye out for the Ottawa Senators. They're one of our teams that we unfortunately have to root for here. Now we're kind of going into a trend of moving from up in the league to lower down. So the next team on that list would be us, the Montreal Canadiens. And we had 2 losses and 1 overtime loss. We almost got the Bedard sweep of no wins and no points. Not a bad week if you're looking at it tank-wise. We did get an unfortunate point versus the Red Wings. But hey, I'll take only 1 out of 6 possible points. And with that, we are currently sitting at 26th in the league with Vancouver just behind us. And speaking of Vancouver, let's get into them. They actually had an alright week. They had 2 wins and 1 loss. And they have a game in hand. And they sit 1 point behind us. So they could easily pass us if they win their next game. So another important team. They should easily be ahead of us, but they've been having an absolute crazy bad year. All that coaching firing stuff, the players just don't look like they want to play. All of that stuff is making them way worse than they should be. But they still can pass us, and I do have hope that they will. Now, this is where it gets even more interesting and even more important, and it's the other 5 teams that are currently under us. In last place, you have the Columbus Blue Jackets, which are the furthest away from us, 11 points under us. But they didn't have that bad of a week. They had 2 losses, 1 overtime loss, and 1 win. That's not bad. They got 3 points there. Not bad for a last place team. Next to them, though, you have the Chicago Blackhawks, who had 2 losses, 1 win. Again, nothing too important, nothing too great. But what can you expect from a bottom-feeding team, You can't really expect 3 out of 3 wins from these teams. But hey, they got 2 points. We only got 1 this week. We'll take it. And for the Arizona Coyotes, they got 1 loss, 1 win, 1 overtime loss. Pretty 50-50. I'll take that. I like those odds. They got 3 points, and they're currently sitting just 6 points under us, which is very doable in the next 32 games. They could easily win a couple against us and a couple against the other bad teams and pass us. Now, there's 2 teams that I still have yet to talk about, and these teams actually had really good weeks. The San Jose Sharks, 2 overtime losses and 1 win. That's a point in every game at least, and that's 4 points in 3 games, moving them just 3 points under us. We have a game in hand with them, which is unfortunate, but 3 points away from us. This is realistically a team that could pass us. And the last team that surprised me the most was the Anaheim Ducks. They swept the week. They got 3 wins out of 3 games. That's crazy. They're still unfortunately 7 points away from us, but you never know. If they keep this little streak going and we continue our little losing streak, hey, they could get a little closer. And like I said, there's 32 games left for this team, 32 games left for us. You never know, really. So I'd say that's a pretty successful week tank-wise. A lot of teams under us did well. Florida did okay. We did, I'd say, pretty good tank-wise. And now for the odds. Starting off at the end of week 1 of my tank series, the Florida Panthers come in at a 3% odd of getting Bedard, and we have a 6.5% odd. So that gives us a total of 9.5% to get that lottery win, to get that first overall pick. And you know what? The odds for that is tied for 4th in the league. That's not that bad. And I'm pretty optimistic they could get even better. Anyways, guys, that is going to be all for the first week of my new series. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it. If you think I should talk about more teams, less teams, or just things I haven't mentioned. And yeah, if you did enjoy, don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.